I've been drinking. I get filthy when I leak again into me. I've been thinking, why can't I get my fingers off it, baby? I want you. Why can't I get my fingers off it, baby? I want you.
Hello beautiful people, and welcome to this video. The dance piece you've just seen is called The Path of Self-Love. And self-love is such a broad term. It's a piece I did a few years ago. Self-love is such a broad term that everybody can sort of like interpret it the way they feel, they see fit for themselves, and I think that's perfect. And I'm excited in this video to share with you what my path to self-love looks like at the moment. But before we get into that, I do want to invite you on the 4th of November. You do not want to miss it. I have a beautiful, wonderful, soul-fulfilling online retreat. It's called Sexuality Beyond Sex. It's going to be so beautiful. Music, art, food, wonderful conversation based on that. And if you're the kind of person that wants to be more sexually liberated in the way that is not influenced by media, influenced by your past, influenced by trauma, a real sexual liberation that affects your art, that affects how you create, that affects how you live, you don't want to miss that online retreat. I'm really looking forward to seeing you there. So that's that. Now, on the video of today about the path of self-love, I did what inspired me on that dance had to do with how my self-love looked like. And I want to tell you today, one, it looks like very little criticism because I get enough of that outside, but most importantly, it looks like uniqueness. It looks like honoring and respecting and appreciating my own uniqueness, my own individuality. And that's very important for me because it is in following cultural norms and following societal norms that we lose ourselves. Now, that is a little tricky when it comes to art, because with art, there are tried and tested ways of formulas that really work. Everybody knows if you move like this and move like choreography that has worked for many years, musical arrangements that have worked for many years. So it gets a little tricky, and I want to talk about that today. And I want to speak about 3 ways that I deal with that. I've got some notes. Hold on. All right. So the first note I have is I wanted to talk about myself on that one, and that is there are things about me that have nothing to do with the past. Whether things have worked before or haven't worked before, I realized that, and it was a painful realization that, oh my goodness, I have things about me that I cannot look into on the past about, that I cannot look at my neighbor and be like, how are you doing it? How are you doing? That I just have to go through it myself. This was painful because it is actually nice to have some formula, to have a guidance, to have some way of moving that you know it's kind of safe and it's kind of good to do. But when it came to certain things about myself, I knew I couldn't. I knew I couldn't rely on past results, whether my past results or other people's results. And that I have, you'll see on the next points, and that I have made it a point that I have space, or I create space within myself, within my home, within my environment, space for that to be respected, to be honored, to be appreciated. So that's the first thing. And then the second one is what I moved on to then was creating just for me. That I'll have a dance piece that's for you, that I want to share with you, that I feel you will enjoy, hopefully. But then there are dance pieces that I feel like, okay, that's just for me, so that I'm not weighed by opinions, by lack of opinions even, because sometimes the most painful thing isn't like mean, negative feedback that you get on your art pieces or on your creativity. What's painful is just getting no feedback at all. Nobody watches it, nobody cares, and that's painful. So to take that weight off my shoulder and I become the only eyes that are important to see it, then it helps if I'm creating for my own. Does that make sense? And that helps. Okay, the last one. I hope I'm still on time. This is the most important one, and I think it's Elizabeth Gilbert that talks about it a lot, which is there's a difference between a career, a job, a calling, a hobby. That those things are different, and we are pushed lately to really put them together. That your hobby, your career, your calling, let them all be one thing, and it can be very dangerous to do that because we can lose ourselves in that. Because if something is your job, for example, my dance, I have dance pieces that I sell on my website, and even though I'm selling those dance pieces, that is not what pays my bills. That is not what is my job. So I'm able to be as free as possible when it comes to dance because I'm not using that as my job. Whereas with a job, probably definitely following a certain formula, following certain rules is perfect for that, because that is work, that is how you're taking care of yourself, and you want to separate that as much as you can from your creativity. Whereas it's, if it doesn't work out, no money is lost, no heartbreak is happening, it just doesn't work out. So separating the three, look up Elizabeth Gilbert's talk on that, on the differences between career, job, and a calling, and see the dangers of mixing it up and the beauty of separating that and going to work, finding a job, and then doing that on the other side, whatever it is that you're doing. And I understand that there are some places, because art is freeing, and I understand that there are some places where it's important, like if you are building a bridge, it's very important to go with the data, to go with formulas, to go with what has worked before. If you are performing surgery, you definitely want to go with the data and follow all the right rules and stuff like that. However, with art, who's going to get hurt with my dance? Who is, like, I'm not hurting you, I'm not hurting myself. If it's too much for you, you can press pause and keep it moving, right? So it is that thing that for me feels like self-love is protecting that, and protecting the fact that this is the freest I'm ever going to be, because there's nobody I'm hurting as I'm writing down for myself, as I'm performing different creative activities for myself. Does that make sense? So those are the three things I wanted to share with you, using that dance about the path of self-love, and the fact that it looks different from all of us. For me, what I needed the most was to remind myself almost daily that I have things about me that are unique, that I can't look at my neighbor, I can't look at anybody else for confirmation, for a nod, that I would have to be the only nod that matters. That's it for this video. It's been wonderful chatting with you, and I want to invite you deeply to come to my Discord group. It's wonderful, it's productive, it's supportive. We have like calls Fridays, 5 p.m. South African times. We have calls once a week where we catch up, and then we see how we can help each other. And it's mostly creatives. I think it's 100% creatives on the Discord group. So you want to join, and I will see you there. All you have to do for all these things that I've mentioned on this video, whether you're interested in online retreat or you're interested on the Discord group, is fill in the form below and let me know what you're interested in, and I'll be in touch with you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.